Hello and welcome to Stocks Down Under. My name is Stuart Roberts and I'm one of the co-founders of that service. And joining me on the morning of Thursday, the 13th of February, 2025 from Perth is Mr. Barnaby Egerton-Warburton, who is the Managing Director of Pantera Lithium, ASX PFE. Barnaby, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
So Barnaby, you've spent a fair bit of time in the oil patch in the US over the years, but you didn't, thankfully, lose your Australian accent. While you're there, you learn a fair bit about lithium brines, amongst other things, and that's the basis of Pantera Lithium, the company we're talking about today. Tell us what you've got in Pantera.
Okay, a great introduction, by the way. And yes, I have spent many years in the oil patch in the US, and I will never lose my Australian accent. It's something I'm very proud of. Okay, so Pantera Lithium currently holds 26,000 acres in the hottest lithium brine play in North America. It's based in southwest Arkansas. We have some big neighbours, the biggest being Exxon and Equinor, Standard Lithium, and now Oxy has just come out and said...
Equinor, the gigantic Norwegian company, right?
Absolutely. They are, I think, 40% owned by the Norwegian government still, but the rest is it's traded on New York Stock Exchange and a couple of European exchanges. So they are in the industry. These guys are all the giants.
Right. And Exxon, it's fair to say, is the giant amongst giants. And you're seated right next door to them in one of the hottest potential brine plays north of Argentina.
Yeah, very far north of Argentina, I'd say. So they originally, Exxon bought a company called Galvanic, 120,000 acres. The company that we acquired, Daytona Lithium, had been leasing right next door to Galvanic. We never should have been able to or allowed to build an acreage position like we have, but we built at least 26,000 acres. And we have an exclusive abstract area of 50,000 acres. And what that means is that there is one group in Lafayette County in Arkansas who has all the records to the beginning of time on who owns the minerals. So we went and we locked up 50,000 acres with him. We paid him a bonus to do that, an exclusivity fee. And so it's very difficult for anyone to lease in that 50,000 acres as we just go along because we know who all the mineral owners are. Now you can go to the courthouse like Exxon and Equinor and all these guys will do, but it'll take you months and months and months and months to work it out. So we never should have been allowed to do that. And now our position is basically totally surrounded by the aforementioned giants.
Let's talk about Arkansas. Now, I challenge our listeners to say this name without smiling. The relevant formation we're drilling is the Smackover formation. As short for, so I learned the other day, sumac couvert. There's a bush there called the sumac, and that's where it gets the name. And there's a creek in the neighbourhood. But it turns out the Smackover formation was first understood during the shale boom several years ago, and now we know a fair bit about the lithium brines potential of that formation.
Yeah, it's an interesting name, Smackover. It's kind of it's something you would expect to happen to you if you got in a fight in a bar somewhere, but yeah, derived from the French name of this bush or this tree. And then in the 1920s, I think it was H.L. Hunt, one of the very famous American oilmen, made a discovery in the Smackover. There's actually a town in Arkansas, a great little town in Arkansas called Smackover. So this formation, it's been drilled since the 1920s, so basically 100 years. And they've been producing oil. Now those oil fields, nobody really realized were high lithium content in the brine with them along with that oil. So it's now become a big play. The formation is, it is quite a blanket formation, but its grades increase in the north and decrease in the south. There's a lot of data out there on this formation. There are thousands and thousands of wells that have been drilled into the formation. So it's not like we're out there wildcatting to try and make a new discovery. The brine is there. It's like an ocean. You just need to go and drill and develop it.
Right. And we're talking Arkansas. Now, a lot of Americans don't know Arkansas, let alone those of us from the rest of the world. Arkansas isn't just the state that gave us Bill Clinton as their governor. It's a very red state, a very pro resource development state, pro business state. It's fair to say you're not going to have too much difficulties developing lithium brine plays in the state of Arkansas.
No, it's a fantastic state, and it's, as you said, a lot of Americans probably are sort of like they know the name, but they're not sure where it is on the map. I traversed it back in the early 2000s, looking at oil in northern Louisiana, but never really went up there. It's a fantastic place. The people are fantastic. It's the governor of the state is Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who's very pro-business.
Press conferences by her during the last Trump administration.
Yes, absolutely. She was Trump's presidential spokesperson. She's very close with Trump. Just a very rational person, and she's been doing a great job in Arkansas. The state government were very quick to get on board and start helping, organizing conferences. There was a big lithium symposium last year, which was fantastic. And hopefully they'll repeat that this year. But, you've got a state that needs to develop industry, and so they're right behind it. So it's fantastic.
Right. So great location, great project with 100 years worth of data that you can move on. And you and your colleagues have staked out, at least 26,000 acres, potentially up to 50,000 acres, depending on how successful your landmen are. How come I can buy you now for only 10 million, less than 10 million Australian dollars for a project that rich?
Yeah, I pull my hair out every day. I don't get it.
Before we press the button, I just offered to take it off your hands for 10, and I don't know why, but you turned me down.
Yeah, well, I laughed at you. Sorry about that. It's I should have been a little bit more polite. So market cap today, $9,475,674. To me, it is ridiculous. So why are we so cheap? Well, the lithium price has driven down nearly every lithium stock in the market. I would suggest that investors start to look at what's happening with the US lithium stocks, the lithium plays like Standard Lithium, Lithium Americas, and so forth. There's a lot of focus on those stocks in their home markets. We just don't see it out here. But lithium price, driven down by the Chinese, manipulated by the Chinese, makes it miserable for everybody. And then there's a little bit of doubt, I guess, around the validity of direct lithium extraction. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. Standard Lithium and Equinor have just run for the last 2 years Koch Technologies full commercial scale column.
This is KOCH, the American who are probably one of the biggest commodity players in the United States.
Yes. So Koch, KOCH, the Koch brothers, I think they are the fourth largest private company in the US and the sixth largest private company in the world, something like that. It's huge. So they provide a technology, a direct lithium extraction technology, which you would see that Standard Lithium and Equinor have committed to. Another great company, which I'm very close with, Arizona Lithium, just made an announcement 2 days ago about utilizing and constructing with the Koch technology. It's a technology that we like. There are quite a few out there, so we will be testing with a few. But if there's any doubt in anyone's mind whether this technologies work or not, it can be allayed because it does, and these companies are doing a fantastic job proving that.
Right. Were you to come up with a resource estimate for the Smackover project that you're working on? I'm guessing that 2025 will feature a resource estimate and the beginning of some scoping work getting you to further to production.
Yeah. So where we are right now is we tried to save money last year and re-enter an old well. It didn't work. There was some drill string stuck in the well that wasn't reported, which is very frustrating. So now what we do is we come out and we're close to completing our subsurface work, which will identify the next 3 well sites for us to drill. So we'll go and drill independent wells. We may be able to swap data with our neighbours. That's in discussion. So once those wells are drilled, we sample those wells, we grade those wells, and we can roll those results into a JORC resource. Post that, or subsequent to that, as fast as we can, we'd look to put a pilot plant out there on site and try and create a closed loop scenario whereby we can test DLE technologies. So we kind of have a short list of technologies, coke being one of them that we like. So that would be the next thing. And then you're kind of rolling straight into a PFS. Now, we're a small company and we're very nimble. This whole process we could have done in 12 months, subject to the funding. And we do have a lot of funding options that are not just by raising equity in the market as well. So once again, I'd point investors and people to have a look at how the US stocks are going and the attention that this industry is getting in the US, and the fact that if you look at nearly every good report or well-researched report, we have a inflection point in lithium pricing in probably 2026, 2027, when demand starts to outstrip supply. And people, sorry, I'm getting a little bit off piste here, but I'm going to get as much in as I can while I can. And people go, well, China will bring lepidolite back on. Well, yes. And if you're sitting and you're a cathode maker or a refiner in the US, you're going to be prepared to pay for a quality product that is down the road to get to you. And then you look at the DOD, DOE, and the US federal government funding for these projects, which is just ginormous. And it's there because Donald Trump wants to dominate the critical minerals industry in the United States. So the support is incredible. Sorry, it's a little bit of a long-winded answer there, but I thought I'd put it all in.
I don't have a map in front of me, but I imagine a little rock up to some of those gigafactories a bit further north is not going to take you long to actually ship product to.
No, not at all. And this is why Arkansas is such a brilliant state. It's very centralized in the US. Imagine an anthill with all the little ant trails going off everywhere. Well, that's what Arkansas is like. But the ant trails are rail. So there's rail going north, south, east, west, in every direction, and rivers and all sorts of transport options. And the infrastructure that we have in Southwest Arkansas and Arkansas is fantastic. You have a very developed oil and gas industry. So when you need things, that infrastructure is ready and there.
Right. And I'd remind listeners as well, another gigantic company based in Arkansas is Walmart, for example. Now, Walmart are as good in logistics as they are in actual retail. So they'd move somewhere else, I suspect, if it wasn't easy to move stuff in and out of the state.
It's, I don't know if Australians realise this as much as they should, but the US is very much, and especially in these states, it's a can-do place. Right. What can we do to help? There's an issue, right? And so, we're not sort of 380, 400 kilometers northeast of Kalgoorlie. So, we are on farms and their towns and their rivers and rail. And, if you want to permit something, you just go and see the state and they are very quick to help you out. If you want to move something, you're spoiled for options in terms of companies that can provide transport and solutions. So it's very much a can-do industry and can-do state and can-do country, it makes it great for us.
All right. So let's summarize. A large project in the focused on the Smackover. We'll put some wells down this year, which will allow you to do a resource estimate and then move straight into the equivalent of a PFS. Tapping into the numerous funding opportunities available in the United States so that America can get control of its lithium future, if I could put it like that. And here's little Pantera alongside a whole bunch of behemoths, including Exxon and Ecuador, not to mention Albemarle, Standard Lithium, and Occidental Petroleum that are all playing in this space.
Yeah, and it's a great summary, and it's amazing. We've met all of those companies and been invited to go and talk to them, and they're kind of like, well, how did you do this? And we're very proud Australians, and in new plays anywhere in the world, you can you hear about a tungsten play going on somewhere in Africa. You show up there and there'll be an Aussie and a Canadian getting off the plane at the same time. We're entrepreneurial, we're aggressive, and that's how we've been able to build this acreage position under the noses of these large companies. So they're a little blown away at how we've done it. And we are tiny. We're a minnow, smaller than a minnow, probably an amoeba compared to those guys. But we're getting the respect, and we're getting some attention over there.
Okay. Barnaby Egerton-Warburton, good luck for 2025. And let's check back again when you've re-rated well beyond the current 10 million market cap.
Thanks so much, Stuart. Have a great day.